Good morning, everybody. This is Mark from D&D Instant Adventures again, working with AI, Gemini and Copilot to look at how we can have fun with D&D when we don't have any other players and develop ideas for campaigns. There's lots you can do with this. Anyway, I have made two videos before, not yet released. Please do think about liking, subscribing, and giving comments. If you leave comments, I'm bound to reply to them because it's a brand new channel. Anyhow, we've made two characters so far. Seline, an Echo Knight, well, level 1, so she's not an Echo Knight yet, won't be until level 3, made with Gemini. And Rorik, a Ranger, who's going to be a Beastmaster, made with Copilot. Now, these are pieces of work that I have gone through before. I'm going to read them out. We will get to a point where I do it live with the AI, but at the moment we're just following what I've already done. So bear with me, it should be all right. Anyway, so Seline, she's human, and I think we can just pick up adventure here now. Gemini said to me, Seline now focuses on using her wits and utility magic to get out of trouble. Are you ready to level her up to level 2 and dive into the next set of fighter features? And I don't want to do that. I want to have an adventure, an instant adventure, to get her to level 2. Right, so what did I say? She is travelling from the town of Nyrowell to Grey Dawn Keep on the island of Grisperwold. She has to get a boat at the port of Firebend. She plans to stop on the way in the town of Irondale, but wants to check out the ruined town of Merivere first to see if there's anything left of a temple that was once the domain of a renowned priestess, Lolth, dead for some 10 years. The lands are typically lush, humid jungle. Until recently, they were dominated by all kinds of monstrous spiders. But 3 weeks ago, all these spiders suddenly died. There was no asteroid, as there was with the dinosaurs, but the effect was just as great. Suddenly, people hemmed in by terror are able to go out into the world again. Now, this setting is a homebrew one. It's a campaign that I've been running for about a year on Roll20 and Discord. 2 separate games, Web and Web 2. This particular setting, the town of Nyrowell, the party are just leaving. We're down to 3 PCs at the moment. There were 5, but 2 players have had to take a back seat because life gets in the way. So this is what's happening. They're level 7. The rogue wants to find a teleportation circle or some sort of means of plane shifting back to the Faerun. And the cleric, Marcel, who comes from the town of Nyrowell, is the one whose mother died and she wants to go to this place, Merivere. So we played it on Sunday, just 2 days ago. And it was a really good session. It was a really good session. But anyway, that's where it comes from. Homebrew. Party may be heading back to the Faerun, but I don't think in a big hurry. So let's see what we do with Gemini with Seline. This is an incredible start to Seline's story. Thank you, Gemini. That's very kind of you. The abrupt cessation of the spider menace in the lush jungle lands of Trigo Melido is a compelling mystery, perfectly suited for a cerebral fighter with the scholar background and a focus on esoteric knowledge. The journey from Nyrowell to Grey Dawn Keep, with the necessary stop at Firebrand, and the detour to the ruined town of Merivere and the temple of Irondale, gives Seline a focused personal mission right out of the gate. Well, it does, we know where we're going. It's a railroad. I admit it's a railroad, not a sandbox. So Gemini says, I put together an initial journal entry formatted as Celine's own notes, focusing on the start of her journey and the specific objective, the temple ruins of Irondale. That's nice. I mean, I could open it. I'm not going to. Let's carry on. This journal sets out the scene and utilizes Celine's stats and skills in context. Now that Seline has her mission and is prepared, how does she begin her journey from Nyrowell? Does she hire a guide, now that the jungle is safer? Or does she rely on her own sense of direction and her new owl familiar, Onyx? Do I say? How do I open the journal? Very pragmatic. You've already opened it on your screen. Right, then it's given me a file path. An MD file, all right then. I might think later on just to make sure I can pick that up. I should be able to. It's currently displayed in the document editor. Yes, it was. But let's just carry on. Ah, yes. I just hadn't looked to the right. Gosh, I was really glued my eyes. Ojos pegados. Yes. But anyway, I imagine you will update both the journal and the character sheet as we progress. That's right. I'll keep Seline, level 1 human fighter, updated with all her mechanical details, and Celine's journal will serve as the ongoing narrative of her journal. Now that Seline has finalized her preparations in Nyrowell, the adventure begins. The quickest route to Meravir is through the newly quieted jungle. Given the sudden and unexplained death of the spiders, many locals are still terrified of what might have caused it. Does Seline feel confident navigating the lush, humid jungle by herself, relying on her own training and the eyes of her familiar Onyx the owl? Or does she try to hire a local guide, taking a chance on their local knowledge despite the recent unsettling events? Well, look, first of all, I'm going to say I like the fact that I've trained this Google account so that I'm getting this journal as well as an updated character card. Pretty nice. So I'm just going back to that and I say, so perhaps it is good if I create web pages for both. Will they automatically be updated? That's a great idea. Creating dedicated web pages for both documents will make them much easier to view on mobile or share with your DM, and we can make them look fantastic with Tailwind CSS. I don't know Tailwind. To answer your question about updates, the new HTML files won't automatically sync if you or I edit them, the Markdown files. So that's what MD is. However, if we make updates to the Markdown character sheet or journal, just let me know, and I will instantly generate an updated version of the corresponding HTML file. Okay, so this is all cool, right then. So I've got a dashboard for Celine's character. What if I open that? Dashboard sounds a bit flash, doesn't it? I don't think it'll take very long. Well, look, okay, that's nice. So there's her character sheet. I quite like the different colours. It just makes things easy to pick out. Feats and spell casting, that's pretty nice. Okay, so that's cool. And I can see that I've got this share option. I can get the code. Fantastic. Let's get out of that. And then what else did I get? I got my character sheet. Let's just keep going. Did I go the wrong way? No, because that's the camp. I'm back to the bottom. I'm going to have to scroll a long way back up. Let's keep going. Let's get up there a bit quicker. Could use the sidebar, but let's just see how much takes. So long like this, is it? Day 3. Maybe I will use the slider. Can't see it. Never mind. Oh, there is a lot. Must be nearly there. I'm pretty confident. There's plenty to go through, isn't there? Right, okay, that's where we were. Oh, there's my slider bar. Right, I'll remember that next time. I'm not going to open the adventure log now. To get Seline moving, let's pick up where we left off. The quickest route to Meravir is through the newly quieted jungle. Does Seline rely on her own training on Onyx the owl, or does she try to hire a local guide? She has 3 days of travel by horse to get to Meravir. How much will it cost to buy a horse? Seline needs to manage her meager 14 gold pieces carefully. So it's telling me that the price is 50 gold pieces. I think I remember the riding horse was 50 gold. Can't afford it, fair. Renting a horse. This is the most financially viable option. 2 gold pieces a day. Yeah, well, that would be cheap. Travel on foot. Right, what do I say? No one in Nyrowell rents out horses. I tell you why, because this was a world where spiders filled the jungle. The best that people could do was clear a circle, perhaps, around their town and fence that in and keep the spiders out as they grew their food. They didn't venture out. They didn't get to know anything recent about even nearby towns, let alone things 200 miles away. So there's no one here who rents out horses. I mean, I think it's a bit dumb because you rent a horse, instead of buying it, probably it would get killed. She'd never come back. Anyway, what do I say? If it takes 3 days on horse through dense jungle, how long should we stay on foot? Okay, Seline's journey must begin on foot. Given that the journey is 3 days by horseback through dense jungle, which severely slows movement, we can estimate the time on foot. Horse travels about 24 miles per day at a normal pace, 72 miles total distance. A person in heavy armor like Seline in scale mail, moving through difficult terrain jungle, can typically travel about 3/4 to 1 mile per hour and sustain travel for 8 hours a day. So the estimated time of travel to Merivir on foot. I would set the travel time for Seline on foot through the dense jungle at 5 days. Well, I think I would as well. This takes 3 days of horse travel, which counts for the difficult terrain modifier, and adjusts it for how much slower speed and endurance of a heavily equipped person is. I kind of like the way it just sets out this thinking. I mean, I would do this in my head and out loud when I'm running a game, but yeah, sure, I like this feature, this part. The additional 2 days of travel emphasizes the difficulty of the terrain and makes Celine's first leg of the journey a real adventure where her resources, like Goodbury, will be crucial. To do the updating again and the revised travel time, Seline has embarked on a 5-day trek. Now we need to know what she encounters on the first day of travel. Does Seline spend the first day focusing on survival, finding safe passage, setting up camp, spotting hazards, or investigation perception, looking for signs related to the sudden spider extinction? Yeah, no, I think I'm going to take a different view on that. Let's see. Let's ask. The horse would not travel at its normal speed of the jungle because of the jungle. I suspect maybe only half speed. We can use this to adjust the on-foot duration, but the heat of the jungle would mean more requests required. Let us also consider the price of a mule. Okay, so I am trying to get my DM hat on, aren't I, here? Excellent set of adjustments. The dense humid jungle would definitely impose more major drawbacks on both speed and endurance. So 8 gold pieces for a mule. I think that was a good ask. It's affordable. Seline can easily afford it and still have 6 gold left for supplies and other travel expenses. Given the dense jungle, a mule is arguably a much better choice than a horse anyway, as they are hardier and more sure-footed in rough terrain. Yes, I think so. I want a burro. Travel time calculation. If we assume the 3 days by horse initially meant a travel distance that takes almost 3 days at half speed due to the jungle, then a mule carrying Celine's heavy scale mail would likely maintain a similar pace, maybe slightly better since they are so resilient. Okay. Buying a mule, 4 days of hard travel through the jungle, but with the mule carrying the gear, Seline can conserve energy and her armor is less burdensome. Fair. I don't think I need to. It's just silly to imagine slogging through jungle in heavy armor. On foot, if she travels on foot and wears her armor, AC18 is critical, she will be slowed significantly by the heat and humidity, requiring more rest. But we can set the travel time at 6 days on foot. Decision point. Well, I know, I'm going to buy that mule. Let's see what I say. Maybe it's taken. Okay, it's already decided, hasn't it? Does she purchase it? Asks the question, and then seems to decide that this is what it wants to do. A name for the animal? Clearly it likes names like Onyx, the owl familiar, Blink or Omen. Right, here we go. With Blink the mule purchased, Seline is on her way. She has 4 days of travel ahead of her. Does Seline spend the first day focusing on survival, finding a good path, spotting hidden natural hazards, and establishing a secure camp, or investigation perception, looking for physical evidence like residual webs, scorch marks, or strange fungal growth that might explain the spider extinction? I've got Gemini interested in my spider extinction. How many hit points does Blink have? I'm very practical again, aren't I? 11 hit points. Tough beast. I don't mind spending my 8 gold pieces on Blink when he decent AC of 10. Oh yeah, but what are you going to do? What's going to get less than 10? I think a body line there is 10. Well, maybe not. But a speed of 40 foot, I like that. And sure-footed. The sure-footed trait, advantage on saves against falling prone. Don't try and knock Blink over. This is perfect for the rough, uneven terrain of the Grisperwald jungle. Shall I go with the German pronounced Grisperwald? I think I will. Okay, sheets updated again. For the first day of her travel, what does she focus on? We're getting that same question again. But I don't buy that, do I? Next, Seline will ask around town to see if there is anyone else wanting to travel north in the direction of Firebend. Yeah, I think the thing here is don't always scold the AI for trying to gallop ahead. Just do what you want to do and it'll soon pick up. Seline is open to being hired as a guard by a merchant, as an escort to nobles or to join together with other adventurers. So I kind of just thought those three things quickly, but that's it. That's okay. Nyrowell has to develop sturdy defenders, has had to, and scouts to be safe from the spider menace, but does not have anyone above level 5. Most marshals are between level 1, like her, and level 3, the commanders. Okay, so my premise was there was a higher power that basically took out civilization when it got past a certain magical level and individuals as well. At Nyrowell, they had a wizard, Spontaneous Combustius, who had an invisible tower, and he didn't bend his knee to this expectation that you quit advancing around the level 5 mark. He kept going. He had a flying fortress, a bastion, that the party also managed to access. One of the characters, Harina, was his apprentice. He fell to his death. He was pushed. Spontaneous Combustius died. But that's just a little bit of background to why I'm saying level 5 here. Okay, not much time has passed since the demise of the spiders, but some intrepid folk have already spread their wings. A group of adventurers from the not so far off town of Devereux have said that the spiders died as a result of the Raven Queen taking decisive action against Lolth. Yeah, the other group, not the one that went to Nyrowell in the web game, but the Web 2 group managed to open the all-seeing eye that was then able to draw power from the Shadowfell, and essentially it was the Raven Queen who got rid of Lolth's spiders. Anyway, no one knows here in Nyrowell, or the Devereux world that we started in, no one knows that this is true for certain. Some fear the spiders will return. We can generate percentage chances of Seline finding each type of traveling companion. So I'm thinking that she can join a group of adventurers, she can be a guard hired by a merchant, or she can be an escort for nobles. Okay, smart move for Seline. Given her slim coin purse, 6 gold pieces, and the 4 days of travel ahead, finding an immediate source of income or protection is essential. The current climate in Nyrowell, where the fear is fresh and the travel is resuming, will heavily influence who is moving north. Here is an analysis of the likelihood of Seline finding each type of traveling companion in Nyrowell. Yeah, it is excellent, Gemini or Copilot, for generating tables. Chances of finding traveling companions. The recent sudden demise of the spiders has created a vacuum. Yeah, it would do at the animal level as well. While some people are desperate to move, others are waiting for the land to be officially declared safe. I think government, even in a high magic fantasy section, they're going to be a little bit slow to say, yeah, send your children out. But we've got 60% probability for being able to join other adventurers. Adventurers are the most proactive group, often attracted to areas of sudden inexplicable change. Given the mystery of the spider genocide and the rumored temple ruins, highly likely a small intrepid group, level 1 to 3, is already forming to investigate or capitalize on the newly opened territories. Sure, yeah. Hire guard, merchant caravan, 30%. Merchants are eager to resume trade routes to Firebend, yes. But they're cautious, yes. A few small independent traders are likely attempting runs, but the major wealth-laden caravans may still be delayed, waiting for stronger escorts than a level 1 fighter. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't have to quibble with any of that. Escort for nobles, wealthy travellers, 10%. The wealthiest individuals are the most risk-averse, except the younger sons and daughters. They would likely wait until the coastal port of Firebend is deemed completely safe or hire a large established mercenary company. It's too early for them to risk jungle travel. Right, so we've got 60% other adventurers, 30% being hired as guard, 10% escort for nobles. I'll go with those. Yeah, go with those. Well done. Next step. She knows she needs company. How does she begin her search in Nyrowell? Does she prioritize the most likely option, the adventuring group, prioritize income, head for a merchant, go to the market square, or rely on her status? Does she simply pack bink and hit the road, trusting her own skills and the lure of her unique magical training to attract companions along the way? I don't think she's going to do that. The dice decree that her only option is to act as a caravan guard. So I would have rolled that on roll 20. Yeah, okay. You can propose the composition of the caravan and what it's carrying, and I will consider whether Seline accepts or travels alone. Yeah, make me an offer, but don't assume I've accepted it. That's the way of the open road. Sometimes the most needed opportunity is the only one available. Merchant caravan is a great first step into the world, especially for a level 1 fighter in need of coin. Yes, it's very traditional, isn't it? There's nothing flash and out there yet. Okay, but will we stay that way? We normally don't. Here is the proposed merchant caravan that is hiring in Nyrowell, heading north towards Firebend. The Quiet Passage caravan. Seline tracks down a small independent merchant named Ilara. You know, Gemini really likes his name, Ilara. I keep seeing it. A pragmatic woman who has run goods along the coast for years, dodging spiders until the recent quiet. Ilara has 2 hired wagons and is desperately keen to make the first run north while the jungle is still clear. So there's her, owner and lead driver, focuses on logistics and trade. She's nervous but determined. She's a level 1 expert. Okay. Then there is Bort, dwarf, level 1 warrior. Strong, but only carries a simple battle axe and leather armor. Long time, and predictably, because he's a dwarf, we better say he's grumpy. Let's go with a stereotype, shall we? Wagon 1, pulled by oxen, contains basic goods and necessities. See the map first. Okay, real detail. And wagon 2 contains more fragile, valuable trade goods. So there's me, and then what do I say though? Do I accept? Service required. Guard the caravan from any non-spider threats, bandits, territorial beasts, other adventurers, for the 4-day journey to Firebend. That seems fair. Pay 1 gold piece per day. Okay, so she's got 6 in saving at the moment. I guess that substantially increases it. Paid upon arrival in Firebend. Laura is also willing to pay a 2 gold piece bonus if the journey is completed without a single incident. Okay, I think that is nothing down to Seline at all. That's just dice, and the dice are bound to give up. It would be boring if we didn't, so let's forget about that. Stipulation: Seline is required to pull her weight in setting up camp and keeping watch. Yeah, another thing I can go along with. So here's the manifest, what they carry. Dried fish, preserved jungle fruits, basic tools, axes, shovels, and rolls of common muslin cloth. 10 vials of rare concentrated jungle medicinal oils, very volatile and valuable. 5 crates of finely carved hardwood from the coast, highly desired in Firebend. And a small locked chest containing Ilara's ledgers and personal funds. All right. Seline's decision. This job provides exactly the income Seline needs and a measure of safety from traveling alone, but it comes with the responsibility of protecting highly volatile cargo. Does Seline, the scholar fighter, accept the role as the sole hired guard for Ilara's Quiet Passage caravan? Does she decide the risk is too high and travel alone towards Meravir? Which sounds less risky, going with Bort or going by herself? Let me think. I think we'll go with Bort and Ilara. But I say let's make some changes. Not Ilara, but Alarissa. Just don't want the same name every time, please. Not fish, because Nyrowell is not on the coast or a river, so carved jade figurines. It is 4 days to Meravir, 6 to Irondale, and 12 to Firebend. Okay, that's got it clear. Fantastic changes, Alarissa jade figurines, and a full-time travel timeline and great flavour and logistical complexity for Seline. So does the revised offer, because it's a 12-day journey, it's offering more money? Yeah, I wasn't being greedy, honestly, but fair. Larissa is a sharp, nervous human expert who has invested nearly everything into this first post-spider run. She's arrived at the Nyrowell market, arranging her last supply checks. Do we get any more interesting information here about Alarissa? No. Bought? He's heavily built and reliable. Okay, I thought he would be. Okay, we've got our jade figures in now. And we've got preserved jungle fruits instead of fish. Okay, I know it's a little bit of a stickler there, but I know it is not on a river or on the coast. Nyrowell. Okay, that looks all good. Just telling, all right then. It says, given Celine's goal to detour to Merovia, which is 4 days into the journey, Alarissa proposes the following: minimum contract, 1 gold piece per day. That's just to Irondale. 2 gold piece bonus if nothing happens. Incident-free journey. Long-term contract, so extend. So going to Firebend just doubles the pay essentially. There would be a 4 gold piece journey bonus, but no. So, okay, 12 gold pieces with catch. Alice's primary goal is delivery. If Seline detours to Merovia, she must swear to rejoin the caravan within a set time on the main road, leaving the caravan vulnerable for that period. And that's very strange of Alarissa to offer that. So Celine's decision, well, it's telling me the job to Irondale is tempting. I don't want it to tell me that. It's thinking for me, no. But I don't scold it this time. I do no chiding. Seline accepts. You may update her journal with this. Okay, and the information about Lolth and the Raven Queen. Good. She's made an excellent pragmatic decision. Doubling her funds with a secure contract while maintaining the flexibility to pursue a scholarly goal is the ideal start to her adventure. Okay, we've got Alarissa locked in with her jade cargo. Dramatic rumours swirling around the spider extinction. Well, they would be if you'd been basically locked down a la COVID by a spider menace for decades. Day 1, the road to Merovia. Alarissa's small caravan sets off. The path is narrow and choked by vines, but the oxen and blink push through. The lack of webbing and spider silk is bizarrely noticeable. The day is hot, humid, and quiet. For Celine's first duty as a guard and a scholar, which priority does she focus on for the rest of the day? Safety and navigation, survival, focus on route finding, making sure the caravan isn't slowed by thickets or hidden pools, and finding a naturally defensible spot to make camp before dusk. Fair. Investigation into the silence, investigation perception. Focus on the surrounding jungle, specifically searching for unusual signs or remnants of the spider's death, evidence that might confirm or deny the Raven Queen rumors. Okay, so I kind of ignore that. I mean, I'd be thinking both, but she's got to do one. I say she's got to be doing the route finding for Alarissa, and for herself, number 2. Let's make a random encounter table for both day and for night with percentage chances of something occurring for each. Okay, I'm not a big fan of random encounter tables when I'm running games. I prefer to make something up that is fit for purpose rather than trying to have to hack away and carve and hone something that the dice come up with, but still. Okay, the jungle of Griswold, though cleared of spiders, is far from safe. This random counter table will help track the immediate perils and the long-term mysteries Seline is facing as she guards Alarissa's caravan. Okay, what have we got? I've set the chance of an encounter at 30% during the day and 40% at night. Okay, I like that. To reflect the heightened danger and nervousness of travelling through newly opened, uncertain territory. So here we get our daytime encounters. 1 to 15, jungle obstacle, like vines, mud pit. Okay. 16 to 30, bandit side. Yeah, I can go with there being bandits moving around now. There always were bandits, but there'll definitely be feeling braver. They'll be the first ones to explore. 31 to 45, so we're going in 50 bands of 15%. Disturbed wildlife, jungle cats, yeah. 46 to 60, evidence of the silence. So I don't think I invented the silence. So we want to have a little think about what Gemini is trying to do with this. Seline finds the mummified husk of a gigantic spider, its body intact but drained of all moisture, possibly with signs of draconic script etched into the carapace. Okay. Right, we'll keep going with that. Could find a lost and scared traveller. Frightened former local merchant or scout attempting to make the journey alone. Sure. 76 to 90, residual magical energy, a small area where the heat is oppressive and the compass spins wildly. We'd have to try and work out what the new phenomenon is. Is it a relic? Is it something new? And then having jumped up in bands of 15, it gets to 90, it's got 10% left, and it decides no encounter. Right then, we'll do the same for the nights. It doesn't take very long to look at this. The night is where the true dangers of the jungle and the uncertainty of the magical silence emerge. Seline and Bort will need to set watches. 1 to 10, we're going to go in bands of 10, are we? Bandit attack. Right. 11 to 20, the whisper. A chilling whisper in Draconic, on the wind, speaking a name or phrase. Well, that'd be a bit spooky, I like that. 21 to 35, animal prowler. Jungle tiger, could be. Maybe going to attack the oxen or blink, don't want that. 36 to 50, so we're not jumping up just in tens, are we? Familiar's warning, onyx, perched high, disturbed by a sound Seline cannot hear. Strange clicking or scraping from the canopy. Doing well with these tables, I think. 51 to 65, pillager scavenger. A single desperate individual attempts to sneak into the camp to steal food or a piece of cargo. Cool. 66 to 80. Eerie quiet. The jungle noise ceases for 1d4 hours. Profound, deeply unsettling silence. Could be frightened. So that kind of sound, is that magical? Frightened? I don't mind either way. Okay, DC 10, not hard, but level 1 character easily can go wrong. And I'm not just thinking about Seline, I've got Alarissa and Bort as well to think about. Then we've got the last 20%, no encounter. Okay, so we should get plenty of encounters. There's no chance of earning the bonus, is there? Now the parameters are set. Seline and the caravan begin their first day of travel. What would you like Seline to do? So we go back to this focus. Now I say about the tables, I may change some of them, only if they come up and I think they do not quite fit in the world. I will roll day by day, pausing if there's an encounter. So Gemini gets that. And it says day 1, into the quiet jungle. Morning is dense and humid, even for Trigo and the leader. Alarissa is visibly nervous, constantly checking the rope bindings on her 2 wagons, and Bort the driver keeps his hand on the hilt of his battle axe. Seline, clad in her scale mail and riding the sure-footed blink, takes point. Rapier sheathed, but ready. Primary mission today is security and forward movement. She knows if they fall behind schedule, Alarissa will grow anxious and the promised bonus will disappear. Seline keeps Onyx the Owl aloft for reconnaissance, directing the familiar to search not just for bandits, but for any lingering environmental signs of the Great Silence. Residual fungal blooms, oddly withered patches of growth, or unnaturally silent clearings. It's a long, hot morning of slow, deliberate travel. The caravan pushes through the narrow, overgrown track. It is time for the day encounter check. Please roll a D100 on the day's encounter table. Remember, there is a 30% chance of it occurring. I roll and I get 73. The roll of 73 means Celine's first day is not entirely quiet. Okay, so we are going to get an encounter. I think I'm going to read this and then I'm going to stop. This is long enough. I want to break the video. But let's just see what we meet on day one. I like the fact that we met something straight away and it's not straight away combat. A scared scout. After mid-afternoon, just as the day's heat reaches its oppressive peak, Onyx the owl returns from a scouting flight with an agitated hoot, landing on Celine's shoulder instead of a high branch. A moment later, a figure stumbles into the trail ahead. He is a young man, clearly a local scout, leather armor, worn bow, machete. He is sweating profusely, swaying from exhaustion, visibly shaking. He throws up his hands immediately upon seeing the caravan. Wait, please, I beg you, he gasps, collapsing onto the muddy trail. I'm Rillan. I was scouting alone, trying to make it to Irondale. This silence is wrong. I can't be alone anymore. I ran out of water hours ago. Belarus immediately pulls the oxen to a stop, her eyes wide with fear. Bor merely glares at Rillan, suspiciously, gripping his battle axe. Rillan manages to push himself up, focusing his desperate gaze on Celine's shield and rapier. If you can take me with you, you can pay in information, I swear. I've heard things about the old temple at Merivere, the place Irondale used to hold sway. The only reason I was out here was to confirm them. This is precisely the kind of intelligence Seline needs. Caravan has a liability, Rillan, also a potential asset, information. Celine's option. Seline must quickly decide whether to trust Rillan. His fear is palpable. Seline can use her skills to assess him, or simply make a pragmatic choice. One, offer protection for information. Seline could give Rillan a water skin and allow him to ride in one of the wagons or walk beside Blink, strictly demanding he share his information about the Merivere Temple immediately. This uses no skill check, a purely pragmatic choice. 2. Assess trustworthiness. Seline engages Rillan in conversation, looking for signs of deceit, or if his panic is genuine, leveraging her wisdom insight modifier. -1, DC 13 check. 3. Refuse. Seline gives Rillan a small supply of good brews and sends him away, deciding he is too great a liability to the caravan's safety and the incident-free bonus. I'm not going to tell you what I decided or said next. That is where we should leave it. I really think that is where we should leave it. Well, look, I am going to say to you, thank you for going with me again on this. I do look forward to when we'll be doing this live with Gemini and the other adventure with Rorik on Copilot. But I just wanted to keep pushing ahead and get some material and practice doing this, speaking to a camera non-stop. You know, as a teacher and a DM, I think I'm quite used to doing that. Okay, it's fun. It's enjoying it. I don't particularly mind hearing the sound of my own voice. I hope you don't. So look, normal things. Can you give a like, please? Can you subscribe? Can you give some comments, to which I will give supplies? And at this point, I have to say, aloha, kia ora, aloha, and goodbye.